Hello everybody, Josh12 back here again with a brand new video for today, and today I'm here to give you my personal thoughts and breakdown of the latest trailer to Dragon Ball Super Broly. Long story short, I really love this trailer. I don't want to pull back any punches, but if I had to be completely candid, I really enjoyed this trailer. I loved it. I don't know if I like it more than the last one, but at the end of the day, they're just trailers. Who really cares? The thing that really matters is the final product, the film itself. Nonetheless, I did really enjoy this new trailer, but with that being said, I do have criticisms regarding this trailer, because even though it was great and even though I liked it, I had some specific criticisms. So with that being said, let's get down into it. I have a whole bunch of bullet points I want to get down to in discussing this trailer. So with that being said, let's get into the breakdown and my personal thoughts. The first trailer was cool. It was very epic. It was giving us the money shots, the highlights of these great epic characters coming together and just beating the crap out of each other, which was awesome. We got to see Broly's return. We got to see the epic legendary Super Saiyan transformation. We got to see some cool Goku shots, some cool Vegeta shots, just some really nice stuff there. This trailer was the polar opposite. It was all story, all world building, all lore, mythology, history of the Saiyans, history of Frieza, history of them getting together, the history of Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, and all of that's awesome and cool. My major criticism, I think they showed a little too much. If I had to be completely candid and blunt, I really feel like they showed a little too much in this trailer. Even though it's short, they showed just too much. I feel like if you spend too much time on it, you can probably piece together the majority of what this movie is going to be about. And I don't really like to do that when it comes to movies I haven't seen yet, and movies I'm very excited to check out. So that's kind of like my biggest criticism, is that even though I love this trailer and I loved everything I saw, I think I saw too much of the movie, and that's something that kind of bugs me. But you know what? Hey, there's probably tons of mysteries and surprises set for us in this upcoming movie, but at the end of the day, I do feel like they should have showed less, kind of similar to the last trailer. But with that being said, we get a good shot of the planet Vegeta. We get to see the palace of King Vegeta, the whole landscape of this one section on the planet, and I love it. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I know a lot of people have complained about the CGI with this movie, very similar to the last movies. A lot of people weren't fans of Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, especially Resurrection F, when it comes to their animation and CGI. I have no issues with it. When it comes to those movies, my major issues with them are story-based, not really animation artwork-wise. But this movie already is a standout when it comes to its art design, so the fact that they have some CGI incorporated really doesn't bother me. Moving off of that, the cameos. We got a whole bunch of cameos in this trailer. The entire trailer as is basically one big flashback, and we get to see a whole bunch of cameos from characters we haven't seen in a good while, in a good minute, if you will, and I loved it. We got to see Zarbon, Dodoria, the Ginyu Force, King Cold, Saiyan characters like King Vegeta and Bardock, which is really cool. We get to see them. I definitely anticipated and speculated that they would end up showing up, and I'm very happy that we get to see them again, because I love Zarbon, I love Dodoria, I love the Ginyu Force. King Cold is super cool looking. Like, I just love those characters, and I'm really happy to see them back. I love the fact that King Cold and the Ginyu Force are really being incorporated in Frieza's reign over the Saiyans, because we've never really technically saw how Frieza took over Planet Vegeta, and it's kind of cool that we get to see it in this one flashback. It's a little odd that Ginyu Force and King Cold are there with Frieza to see him do it. It's a little jarring, but it's not a deal breaker. It's completely fine, and I completely buy into it. And it also makes sense, because the Ginyu Force are really, at that specific point in time, or at least that giant chunk of time before Goku and company came around, the Ginyu Force were really the top elites of the universe for Frieza's forces. And King Cold, even though, Frieza is his son, they're part of the same clan, Frieza's, the emperor of the universe, if you will, or the galaxy, whatever. King Cold is like the king of kings, He's the one who reigns overall, especially when it comes to Frieza's force, his empire. So I'm completely fine with that. If there's any kind of nitpick I have, is that I really wish that Ginyu Forces should have changed their design. I would have loved it if we got to see different designs for the Ginyu Force in this flashback. I know it's completely unnecessary and it's a waste of money, probably, but I kind of wish that they did it. I don't know, like, I'm weird that way. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know, it would have been cool to see like Raccoon like with a mullet. Like, I don't know, like when I look at him, I think he probably would have a mullet when he was younger. I don't know. I think that it would have been cool to see Ginyu with like a different kind of body, because, you know, when I think of Captain Ginyu, I think he's probably a guy who every single time he meets up with a stronger character, who's not Frieza, of course, because he's scared of him, like everybody else, that he probably body swaps with them, similar to how he did with Goku on Planet Namek. But yeah, whatever, they're basically the same as they always have been, and that's fine. But I think it would have been cooler if they had a design change for the movie. But whatever, that's just my nitpick. Beyond that, there is a design change that does happen in the trailer, and it's not for the Ginyu Force, it's for Frieza. Yes, Frieza is in this trailer heavily, obviously, because the trailer is focusing on the Saiyan history, the Frieza history, and that's fine, and it's cool, and it's awesome, but Frieza looks very different. And if you weren't paying attention, if you look a little closer, Frieza is significantly changed from how he looked in the past. I mean, I know this movie is doing a lot of retconning and a lot of deviating from the original quote-unquote canon, but every single time we have seen Frieza in the past, especially in this chunk of time within the Dragon Ball universe, we've always seen Frieza in one way. So it's just weird to see him like he is in this trailer. Now, granted, as far as I believe, the movie's probably not 100% done yet, but at the same time, why is Frieza pink? It just doesn't make any sense. He doesn't have his shoulder pads, which is weird looking. He's all pink, which is just weird, and he's not wearing the Saiyan armor or like the Frieza armor or whatever. Like, it's just, I don't know, like he just feels and looks naked, and when I think of Frieza, I want to see Frieza as menacing and intimidating. I don't want to see him naked. That's just weird, but whatever. It's a design choice. Maybe it's an artist who felt, you know, why not be a little liberal? I don't know. You know, liberal with the way they're designing and color correcting these characters. And that's fine. You know, they've done that already with some of the characters. You know, Vegeta and Goku obviously look a little different from how they did in the Tournament of Power, but that's fine. However, with that being said, we move into the major focus of the trailer, which is the narrative. The narrative is really all about Goku, Vegeta, and Broly. Broly, Vegeta, Goku. That's all the trailer's really focusing on. Goku's born, Vegeta's born, Broly's born. They're all babies. And we got our first bit of interesting, contradictory retconning, which is that apparently in the context of this trailer, and I'm guessing also the movie, Goku, Vegeta, and Broly were born at the same time. And if not at the same time, around the same time. I don't know how to really feel about this because I don't have the context of watching the full movie. So I'm going to leave my harsh criticism at the door and just wait until I see the full movie. But if I had to say anything, I'll say this. I'm not a huge fan of this retcon. Broly, do whatever you want with him age-wise. It doesn't matter. But Goku and Vegeta, they are designed specifically to be kind of polar opposites, you know, and even though they're rivals and they've always kind of been paired off against each other or with each other, and, you know, you kind of always visually look at them as they're kind of equals, especially when you look at them design-wise. They're kind of just like, they're probably the same age. What are they, like 30? I don't know. But in the context of this trailer, they're born around the same time, if not the same time, and that's just not true. In the original canon, if I'm not mistaken, Vegeta is obviously significantly older than Goku by many years. I mean, Vegeta, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is like, what, 5 to 7 years older than Goku? So yeah, they weren't born around the same time. They weren't even close to being born at the same time. It's just dumb, and I don't know I don't know why they did that. I'm guessing this is Akira Toriyama's way of making the story more interesting, which is, hey, not only are Goku, Vegeta, and Broly going to fight, but they were destined to fight. Destiny, key word in this trailer. They were destined to fight. Their stories, their legends, they're intertwined. It's like Batman and the Joker. They're just destined to fight each other forever. And I get that, and that's kind of cool, but my biggest criticism of it is that, number one, it's not true because Goku and Vegeta are not the same age. They weren't born around the same time. And it just comes off feeling too fan fictiony. Here's baby Broly, he's so cute. Look at baby Vegeta. He's so cute. He's the best. He's the best. You know, like, it's just too fan fictiony for my taste. And that's fine. But man, did that just I don't know, it kind of irked me, and I don't know how to feel about it moving forward, but I'm definitely waiting until I see the final project. With that being said, we transition from seeing toddler Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, and we get to see King Vegeta and Paragus. We get to see some action by them. We also get to see Bardock kind of show up, which is really cool. I love Bardock. King Vegeta essentially puts out there that, hey, I'm going to take this kid Broly, and I'm going to send him away. We don't really know why, because we're not really given a reason in this trailer, but you can kind of get the sense that maybe there's two options going on here, which is either A, they're just sent away to faraway lands to conquer said planets. There's either that, or either B, is that Broly is being banished. He's being just thrown away like trash because King Vegeta got a rating of how powerful he can be, which could be a threat to the throne or a threat to his son, who he views as his precious prodigy / Jesus' son, which is pretty much how Vegeta views himself. So, I get where King Vegeta is coming from. It's definitely a departure from the original, where obviously King Vegeta orders the assassination of baby Broly, whereas in this movie, he's just sent away because who cares? It's like, how do we deal with the Incredible Hulk? We can't kill him, so send him away to a planet where he'll die. So I'm guessing that's what they're doing with Broly. However, with that being said, Paragus is not having it. Paragus is like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm leaving. I'm picking up my son. I'm going to train him. I'm going to turn him into the ultimate warrior, and then I'm going to sick him on your ass. Unfortunately, Frieza has different plans for that, and obviously if you've been paying attention to the franchise for the last 30 years or something, Frieza plans on eradicating the entire race of the Saiyans. As quickly as Frieza's forces take over the planet Vegeta, he decides to kill them just as fast. And of course, we get into the juicy parts of the trailer, in my opinion, which has obviously been a major criticism from a lot of people, which is the adaptation of Dragon Ball Minus. Yes, because once we move past the Paragus King Vegeta stuff, the rest of the trailer is pretty much verbatim a adaptation of Dragon Ball Minus, which obviously pisses off a lot of fans, because like I mentioned in my last review, nobody likes Dragon Ball Minus. Everybody who's anybody and everybody who's ever read anything about anything in this franchise do not like Dragon Ball Minus. They hate it. It's just not liked at all. You'll be shocked to find somebody who actually does like it. Me, I really don't care. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I'm kind of in the middle. I just don't care. In this trailer, we get to see the adaptation of Dragon Ball Minus in cinematic form. And I have to say, I actually really liked it. And I'm surprised to say that out loud, because I really feel like this should piss me off more, but it really doesn't. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that when you read the manga and you see that one chapter, it just completely is like a punch to your face, because you can kind of get the sense of what Akira Toriyama is trying to do here, because he's like, hey, I just did this really great comedy manga, which is awesome, which is Jocko the Galactic Patrolman, and you know what? Instead of just leaving it at that, I'm gonna do a bonus chapter. But not just any average bonus chapter. Not just some simple, connections. I'm going to do something really crazy. I'm going to take everyone's beloved story that everybody fucking universally loves, which is the Bardock special. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to flush it down the toilet, and I'm going to fucking give you all the middle finger. That's what Akira Toriyama does with the Dragon Ball Minus chapter. And even though I personally don't have a foot in the race in terms of do I hate it, do I love it, that's kind of the context of that chapter, because the Bardock special is so good. And I would go as far as to say, outside of the original manga and anime of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z collectively, outside of that, the Bardock special and the Future Trunks special are probably the best pieces of storytelling you'll get out of the franchise, hands down. So amazing, even to the point where they're just standalone stories. And I guess that's kind of how you have to view them now, because apparently, hey, this new movie is completely retconning the Bardock special and making Dragon Ball Minus canon, which, unfortunately for all those, fans who are like, it's never gonna be canon, fuck you, it's not, Bardock's real, that shit's fake. Well, you can't really say that anymore, because like Broly, Minus is now freaking canon. So it is what it is. I don't really hate it that much, because for the parts that we do get to see from the chapter translated to animated form, I really like. Like Goku getting sent away, sure, full-on rip-off of Superman. I don't know what Akira Toriyama was thinking. complete retcon of Goku's original origin. But damn, does it feel emotional. I mean, you feel for King Vegeta and his son. You feel for Paragus and his son. You feel for Bardock. A lot of father-son analogies here, and it's really cool and really amazing to see that in cinematic form. And I just love it. And to see Bardock struggle with the fact that he knows Frieza's up to no good and that he has to do something. So he just decides to send his son away. You know what? He's like, hey, my oldest son, whose name I completely don't remember, which is Raditz, obviously. But, you know, like, he's like, he's away, whatever. But Goku, Kakarot, that's the special one. That's my special little boy. I gotta send him away because shit's going down, and I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. So he sends him away, and it's emotional. It's cool. We get to see the first ever anime appearance of Gine or Gine, whichever way you want to pronounce it. Awesome stuff. Very emotional. Very cool. We get to see them, and it's nice. They're holding each other. It's nice. It's animated, artistically perfect, in my opinion. And Goku's crying. And even though it fundamentally changes Goku's origin in his own story, I feel for it, you know, because it almost makes Goku more of a tragic figure in the sense that, like, he has his entire life that he's completely aware of, but because he later on suffers a head injury, completely forgets all of this, makes him kind of a sadder character than he probably already is, technically, because it's like, holy shit, here's this whole life where he knew his parents, that he may have loved them, that he, you know, was doing things under Saiyan / Frieza rule, and it's like, all of it's gone. I don't know, there's something kind of tragic about that, and it makes him a little bit more interesting in my eyes. And being an already hardcore Goku fan, nothing wrong with that, although I do still love more the original origin. With that being said, of course the trailer continues on with the Dragon Ball Minus adaptation, and we also get to see Frieza annihilate the Saiyan race, completely destroy Planet Vegeta, and I have to say, this is actually the number one thing I don't like about the trailer. I don't like the fact that Frieza is not destroying the race without any conflict from the actual Saiyans themselves. I really wish they kept that from the Bardock special. I get it, Akira Toriyama. I get it. He had nothing to do with the special besides designing the characters. He had nothing to do with the story. However, you can't change the fact that in the original manga itself, he clearly references that special. He incorporates it into his art / panels, and even in the original altercation and meetup of Goku and Frieza when they first meet each other, Frieza recognizes him as Bardock. That's from the special, and it's so aggravating that they're just retconning that, and they're just like, hey, Frieza's like, you know what, bye-bye Saiyans, boop, they're dead. And it's like nobody fights back. Nobody's like, no, we're gonna stand. We're gonna stay strong. We're gonna fight. None of that shit happens. None of it. It's like Bardock's not there. He's not gonna fight. You know, he goes out. He's like, I'm Jarrell. I'll just die at home. You know what? What? No, you're fucking Saiyan. You're fucking. That's why we love the special. That's why we love it more than Minus, because he's conflicted because he's an asshole, but he wants to. You know, he's seeking redemption, and he kind of gets it through his own death, and he tries to save his own people, but they don't care because they're ignorant and dumb. He's trying to take down Frieza, and he's just completely incapable because he's not powerful, he's not strong enough, he's not the one, he's not the person to do it. You know, it's his son in the future, so it kind of makes Bardock as a martyr, but he's not really because nobody remembers. And it's just, it's so, like, it's a bittersweet, it's a beautifully sad ending for that special, but it's also, it's sweet because we know what happens later, which is Goku will rise up and take down Frieza himself. You know, and it's nice, and it's a cool, you know, interesting tale. But here it's like, nah, fuck it, you know, go Frieza blew up the planet, whatever. I don't know, there's just something really annoying about that, and it's the number one thing I don't like about this trailer. Beyond that, any other things that I don't like are relatively just nitpicks. You know, like Goku, Vegeta, and Broly being born around the same time is annoying, but I'm willing to accept it for the context of the story. Dragon Ball Minus being canon is fine. Nonetheless, the trailer ends, it completely climaxes with adult, current time Goku, Vegeta, and Broly facing off against each other. Really great moment of Goku. Really amazing look for Vegeta. Definitely a complete reference to Super Vegeta, Grade 2, if you will, from the Cell Saga. Awesome there. And of course, an amazing shot of Broly punching the screen. So yeah, that was pretty much the trailer. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I think this movie is going to be very, very special and very interesting. I like the idea that they're trying to create a lore and destiny for these three characters. And basically that there's these three Saiyan children. They were born around the same time. They left at the same exact time, at the right moment, and they're coming back together to find out that they need to fight each other. So I like that. You know, I feel like that's something that was heavily missing from the original movie, because that original Broly movie is good, but it's only good in concept. And I feel like the greatness about this movie is that Akira Toriyama sees it. He sees the concept for what it is, and he's incorporating it and re-engineering it and making it better. And I feel like based off this one trailer, we get to see the execution of that. You know, we get to see that there is something worth with this concept and story, which is they're destined to fight each other. Hopefully there's a whole bunch of more mysteries and surprises, but overall this trailer was great. I loved it. I love the music, the art. So yeah, with that being said, there's not really that much I hated about the trailer. I mean, besides the whole lack of Bardock and Goku, Vegeta, and Broly being born around the same time, and certain retcons and continuity contradictions are definitely annoying, not to mention making Dragon Ball Minus officially canon, quote unquote. But nonetheless, I did love the trailer. It was really phenomenal. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And this has been Jock12.